Hi, everyone. Welcome to Backstage Classical Conversations. I'm your host, Katrina Stroud, and I'm a classical violinist pursuing my master's in music at the University of Michigan. In this series, I invite esteemed classical musicians onto the show and interview them to tell their stories and give advice to share with others and preserve their legacies. Welcome to part 2 of Molly Carr's interview, violist of the Juilliard String Quartet, Carr duo, and founder of the global nonprofit Project Music Heals Us. For a more extensive biography and to learn about her musical background and the story of how she started her nonprofit, go listen to part 1 if you haven't already. Now, let's pick up where we left off. Can you talk about maybe one or two of the most memorable experiences you've had from this project?
Yeah, that's very hard to choose because, just to rattle off a few and then actually get into the the ones I chose, you know, to hear that a patient is not able to go in for their organ transplant operation because their cortisol levels are too high. But then after having one of our violinists play for them for 20 minutes, their cortisol levels have dropped. Their breathing is in a place where they're able to go in to receive the operation. That's pretty freaking awesome. And
Yeah.
yeah, a similar experience of, getting to see a patient hours away from passing smile and be surrounded by family and have the family actually see the smile and feel the hand responding when they haven't had any interaction for days
Wow.
because music entered the room. Yeah, talking about the power of music is just
Yeah.
we just go about our everyday lives. We go to conservatory. Okay, time to go into the industry. We forget it's a powerful, powerful tool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so the ones that I chose, I would say, is the very first time that I played in prison. I wanted to bring in a program that was not simple, that was we weren't going to show up and be like, here, we're going to try and make you happy for a couple of minutes and then send you back to your lives. I wanted to bring in something that was dark and hard, and the composers struggled in writing. And so the program we brought in was late Beethoven string quartet. Opus 135 was Es muss sein, is why must it be, is the quote through the quartet. And then Bach Chaconne. And also Mendelssohn Opus 80. So Mendelssohn Opus 80, Mendelssohn wrote it after he lost his sister, Fanny Mendelssohn. And Bach Chaconne, Bach wrote after losing his wife. And Beethoven, when he wrote 135, was dealing with a lot of stuff that is very similar, I think, to the life experiences of the people that we were playing for in the room. And so as we walk through this show, we talked a lot about how, Bach and Beethoven in particular are always put up on these pedestals for us as students that you're not ready to play this.
Right.
You're not ready. This is the be all end all, only when you are old and experienced will you actually understand this music, right? And so we were sharing this and how we're playing it and we're bringing it now. And we know that it's a challenge for us, and it's going to be a challenge and a learning journey for the rest of our lives. But the things that we are really connecting to is the story and the life story of the person behind the music. And so we told those stories. We told about our struggles with trying to come to terms with them and bring them to life and honor them and all of this. And I remember when so Bach Chaconne, I don't play Bach Chaconne. One of the violinists in the group played it. So I had the opportunity to go back around to the back of the audience and just sort of see how things were going. And the violinist introduced the piece as like, again, this piece that she was afraid of. And I mean, to say that you're afraid in prison already was like, how's this gonna go?
Right.
But she introduced it as something like, I'm actually, this piece scares me because all of my teachers have always told me that I'm not good enough for it. I'm not ready for it. I can't honor it properly. But I love the piece so deeply, and I want to share my best with you. So bear with me. Here it goes. And she
Yeah.
played, and before she reached the last note, my God, 80 guys were up out of their seats like, "You amazing, yeah!" Like, just like they were so, like, to watch the level of, like, intensity of absorption during that performance was like, I don't think I've ever seen this anywhere ever. Like, so to feel
Yeah.
that and feel like the meaning and the need and the connection, it's like connection is not a good enough word, like the humanity that found each other
Right.
across from stage. We're in a basketball court, but like one side of the basketball court to the other. Um, yeah, and so just that was like, wow, we have to do this all the time. But then, even in that same concert, at the end of the show, everyone had to be led out, except there were a couple guys that were in charge of putting away the chairs. And one of the guys came up to me and said, "You know, that Beethoven piece that you played, we played the slow movement from it, and we invited them to close their eyes and just, absorb or not. Keep your eyes open as you wish. The beautiful thing about music like this is, yes, there's a life story behind it, but it's sort of you take what you want out of it. So
Mhm.
absorb freely. You can close your eyes. Didn't think anything about it. Close your eyes and listen." And so this guy was like, that slow piece you played, you don't close your eyes in prison.
Mm.
And we were like, oh, oops. And he's like, but my arch enemy down the row, I saw he was closing his eyes, and I saw the guy next to me was closing his eyes. That was the first time that I closed my eyes in this
Wow.
facility and felt safe in all the
Wow.
years I've been here. Right? And we were
Incredible.
like,
Yeah.
"Ah!" So yeah, that was wild. So
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that was like two in one, and answering your
Yeah.
question, but there are so many
I'm
others, and
sure.
just, yeah, and all the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. Those are absolutely incredible and so touching. So, switching gears a little bit, you started the Carr Petrova duo. What made you want to start this, and how has it enhanced your career?
Yeah. So again, when I graduated from school, I knew, all right, I want to play recitals and I want to do chamber music. Those are
Mhm.
places that, like, I don't know, somehow from my 12-year-old vision was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I like this. An occasional concerto. And as I continued to, do the hamster in the wheel and build a chamber music career, yeah, as I said before, I started to feel pretty drained and just like, okay, this is what I used to love. Why am I not loving this so much? And I realized that everything that I was doing was sort of ad hoc. Like, I didn't have a regular quartet then. I didn't have a regular ensemble. Didn't have a duo. And so anytime I would play a recital or a concerto or a chamber concert, it was always like, prepare, get in there, get the job done. Okay, do your best. Are you going to get hired for the next thing? Oh, right. So it was like outward, 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 and be better, be better. And so when I met Anna Petrova, my dual partner now, I remember we were in one of these chamber music ensemble interactions. And I had actually met her years before at Manhattan School of Music. We were classmates, but we didn't really get to know each other then. And I realized that I felt something in this person that had the same desires and imagination, visions and excitement for like projects that you really pour yourself fully into and accomplish everything within that project. And so I turned to her and I was like, "Do you want to start a duo?" And she was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so we then like I don't know, it was like a heart moment. It was like, yeah, this person, I feel it's right.
Mhm.
Like, will you marry me? You know? And so and what I feel it came at just the right time was after the injury. You know, as I was pouring myself into Project Music Heals Us, I was pouring myself into, other gigs that came up and pouring myself into this. There wasn't a place for all of this that was like 100% my own, right? It was
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
gonna challenge me in a very intimate space. Like I could dream only here and then make it happen. I mean, I'm not being totally clear because as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, well, Project Music Heals Us is the same, and then these different things. But there was something in playing with Anna that, like, she demanded of me a level of playing and a level of commitment that I feel like needed head, heart, soul, imagination. It needed everything.
Mhm.
And that like lit me up from head to toe. And it's like my place. It's like
Mhm.
in a little bit selfishly, it's like playing with one of my best friends, getting to play any repertoire that I choose. Like we've been transcribing things, arranging things, commissioning things, pulling rep that is very standard, matching it here and there. And it's just like, it's just fun. And that's what I remember from like 12 years old. So it's my little corner of like challenging myself in my happy place with my best friend. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that you've found that for yourself. And, you're also a member of the Juilliard String Quartet. How did you join this ensemble, and what does it mean to continue the legacy of this, like, legendary quartet?
Yes, I joined the Juilliard String Quartet in May of 2022. And so, yeah, it's a little bit of a bittersweet joining in that the former violist, Roger Tapping, passed away really unexpectedly and suddenly. And it was a pretty devastating blow for so many, including myself, across the music globe. And
Mm,
so, in order for the quartet to continue, they needed to find a violist. And so they held auditions, and I was lucky enough to be invited to come and spend time with them and read and interact and have conversations and
mhm.
multiple times. And no part of my vision from 6 years old to 12 years old to you know, 35 years old, did I ever think that I was gonna be the violist of the Juilliard String Quartet. I mean, this is an ensemble that I grew up, you know, looking like this too and revering and
Yeah.
learning from the recordings and having coachings with Bobby Mann when I was in school and like,
Mhm.
Ron Copes and all of these. It was like this, educational institution that just was, yeah, out of reach. And so to get the call to audition was pretty wild in the first place, but then to be asked to join was like, whose life am I living?
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, it was, again, like, when you find what you love, fear becomes an afterthought. That like,
Mhm.
the moment of like, would you become our violist? You have the two sides of like, ah, yay, and then you have like, oh crap, like 80 years of legacy. Like, am I good enough? What is it?
Mhm.
What? Oh my gosh, am I gonna break this thing? Um, but I think playing chamber music is something that I always knew I wanted. I always knew I loved, and I always knew I was good at because I knew I wanted it and I loved it.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
it felt like home. And to realize that, like, wow, so all I have to do is do what I love, and that will uphold this legacy. All I have to do is like give my best to that, and that will take care of it. That was like a really freeing moment. Another like big moment for me of like, okay, all these people that are in like the top tier that I always thought were totally unreachable, somehow I'm interacting with them, but my interaction is that I can just be me. I
Right.
can just I can just do what I love, and that is appreciated. That's huge. That's
Mhm.
amazing. And I
Yeah.
yeah, hope that all my students find that moment and recognize that moment and recognize, yeah, you can do what you love and it can work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And I haven't had the opportunity to hear you in person, but I've heard clips on Instagram and videos online, and you're honestly so amazing in the quartet, and the entire quartet really there's like no words for
Aw,
how amazing you guys are and how wonderful you sound.
thank you.
And you're now a faculty member also at Juilliard. Did this come around the same time as joining the string quartet, or did it come before? And what did it mean to become a faculty member at the school you once attended?
Yeah. So when you join the Juilliard String Quartet, you join the Juilliard faculty. That has been something that is really beautiful and unique in this quartet. I think there are not so many other quartets that have really bound residencies to institutions like this. And so that is a real gift, to be able to walk into a school like Juilliard and have rehearsals every day and then go teach like wonderfully talented students. It's a dream job. Before I joined the quartet, I had been teaching all the way from actually my second year master's, in the Juilliard pre-college division. And so in a way I was already in the system, already, d- teaching at the institution, but not at the college level. I did some TA-ship for Heidi Castleman in my years shortly after school. But yeah, it felt big. It
Mm.
felt big. And again, the first reaction is like, I am I good enough? Like, really? Who's gonna want to study with me? Like, what? Really? But people came to study, which is very nice, and I love my students.
Mhm.
And again, just recognizing that living the career, living the path now and passing that on to students because I'm younger than a lot of the other faculty at Juilliard, and
Mhm.
now actually 3/4 of the quartet is a young faculty, and so I think it's actually a really great thing to have
Mhm.
that, the older faculty that are maybe not performing as much anymore, but have that, really dedicate themselves to teaching, and then a band of faculty that are doing all of it
Mhm.
and passing that on with real lived experience, like right now experience
Yeah.
of like, this is how I think you should prepare. This is my experience. This went badly for me just like last week. Maybe you should try this, right? Um,
Right.
and so, yeah, so I think again, my initial stepping into a faculty role at Juilliard was like coming around the corner of like, wow, college now. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, again, you find what you love, and it all works out. You just stick with that, and the wisdom comes after that.
Yeah, exactly. So, a central topic to this discussion so far, I feel like, has been overcoming fear. You've talked about it a little bit, but how do you overcome fear in your career today? And then also, how do you help your students overcome fear when they face it?
It's taken a lot. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. And I think talking about the fear, talking about the fact that this career path is really challenging, like psychologically challenging, I think for both myself and for my students is a really important step. I think also, again, finding what I love and recognizing I can just do that and that's going to be okay. And then also recognizing that, like, it's okay to fail. And I'm sure anyone that's a musician is going to be watching this is going to be like, yeah, okay. Easy for you to say, like, now you have a job that, like, supports you in a certain way, this, that, and the other thing. But it really is okay. Like, I have bombed performances. I have, like, had to start over. Like, I have that, like, the most embarrassing things that you think they're the most embarrassing. They're really okay, sure, maybe they are for a couple of minutes, but then, like, life keeps going, and there is not only one tiny little sliver of a career path. There's not only
Hmm.
one life path for anyone. That's the really
Right.
exciting thing is, like,
Hmm.
what if you fail this here because actually it's time to go here? Isn't that
Hmm.
exciting? Isn't
Yeah.
that right? And so, yeah, I think I grew up thinking, right, really, like, it must be this, and then, oh my gosh, if am I toppling over? No, 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 get back up. No, 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 right? I can't fail on this. I have it. And that, like, that's exhausting. It's exhausting. And so,
Hmm.
again, to just, like, what you can do is prepare the best you can and do the best you can in the circumstance. And if there is stuff that really annoys you that happened, that, like, you feel like you failed, then you can go back and assess it and see if there's anything that, like, you can strengthen your weaknesses
Right.
and fortify. And
Hmm.
from there, then you just do it again. And then you do it
Hmm.
again and do it again. And
Right.
and that was something that someone told me, like, way back when I was like 17, that it's remarkable actually how adaptable humans are.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
wild how adaptable we are, and sometimes in, like, a bad way. Um, but but if you challenge yourself, if you feel that you're always on the edge of, "Oh, no, can I do this?" You're gonna adapt, and you will be able to do it,
Yeah. I love
right?
that. So you did mention being a younger member of the Juilliard faculty. So can I ask what your goals for the future are?
Well, you can't see it right now, but I am 8 months pregnant.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, down there. Um, and so my goals for the future right now are very much focused on growing my family and having
Yeah.
my, second child join us. Yeah, and I would say it's an easy question and an expected question, and honestly, right now, it's a little bit hard for me to answer
That's
because
okay.
again, I have felt like I always have a this, to a certain point, and the last couple of years is like, okay, there's a nonprofit, there's the duo, there's a string quartet, there's a job at Juilliard,
Right.
um, and there's my family. And
Mhm.
how do all of these pieces fit together in order to be a mom that doesn't feel bitter for giving up all of these
Right.
things in order to be a mom,
Mhm.
but then also to live all of it. And so that's, yeah, it's
Yeah.
something that actually I'm glad that I have a little bit of time this summer away from work as I um lay my egg here, like a sitting goose here, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
That I can think about that again. Find the Heidi Castleman quiet space to see.
Hmm.
Okay, there's this, there's that, there's that, there's that. What is truly, truly the priority, and how do we fit these pieces into 24 hours in a day
Right.
to take care of all parts? So,
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's definitely like a very clear goal, I would say, learning just like to balance everything that you're doing, which is amazing. So, this has been such an incredible interview. Thank you so much. And I always like to finish with this one question. What advice do you have for aspiring professional musicians?
take the time to find what you love, because otherwise you're going to burn out.
Hmm. Well, that's really great advice. And thank you for being honest and sharing your story and for all of your wisdom.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you, Katrina.
Thank you so much to Molly Carr for sharing her powerful and inspiring story about overcoming fear and injury and creating an impactful and fulfilling career. I hope you were all moved as much as I was by her stories from Project Music Heals Us, and I love her mantra of when you find what you love, fear becomes an afterthought. Thank you so much for joining me on Backstage Classical Conversations. If you liked this interview, please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on the platform you're using. You can follow us at Backstage Classical Podcast on Instagram or visit the website at backstageclassicalpodcast.com for more episodes and information. I'm Katrina Stroud, and it was great to see you here. Until next time, stay inspired and listen to the stories of others.